plays on third down. Third down's where they've had a lot of problems.
The Philadelphia Eagles are 4-3. They want to play better at home. They're only 1-3 at home. The Minnesota Vikings are 3-4, but 0-3 on the road. They need a better game today as well. We'll be set to go with the opening kickoff right after these messages.
Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Take a look at some of the scores from the earlier games. Green Bay ties Chicago for first place in the NFC Central with a 20-12 win in Chicago. Brett Favre is now 9-1 lifetime at Soldier Field. St. Louis goes to 7-1, a huge win over Carolina. Tampa Bay and Detroit, a minute and a half to go in that game in regulation time. Cleveland and Pittsburgh are in overtime. Jacksonville about to defeat Cincinnati. New England has won again as they continue their good play. Miami came from behind to beat Indianapolis, and the Jets are now 6-3 with the win over Kansas City. Philadelphia Eagles in first place in the NFC East for 3 weeks in a row, and that's the longest stretch that they have been in first place for that long in years. Ryan Mitchell, who ran the opening kickoff back last week, 94 yards for a touchdown. His 12th career kick return for a touchdown is deep. Mitch Berger is set to kick off. Start of a very tough stretch for the Vikings. They need this game to stay in contention in the NFC Central. The Eagles trying to stay on top in the NFC East, and we're underway. Berger's kick coming down to Mitchell at the 1. He's got the wedge. Try to find a seam. Spins off a hit and goes down at the 25-yard line. Waswa Sirwanga made the tackle. Donovan McNabb, in his third year, takes his team onto the field. He has cut the interceptions down this season. His offensive line has Hank Fraley. Doesn't have a pretty body, but he's getting the job done as his first-year starter. Deuce Staley starts in the backfield with Cecil Barton, Chad Lewis, the tight end, James Thrash and Todd Pinkston, the wideouts. We'll see a lot of Freddie Mitchell as well. The draw play to Deuce, and he gets 5. Staley has not started since the second week of the season when he was injured. The Vikings on defense. Stalin Collinet and Talent Sawyer, the ends. Winfield Garnett and Chris Hovan inside. Kylie Wong, the center. Ed McDaniel, Lemansky Hall, the linebackers. Eric Kelly, the rookie, starting on the outside. Kenny Wright. We may see Dale Carter, who was signed this week. Deuce Staley splits out wide on the right. He waits, makes the catch at the 30, turns it upfield. Still going across the 45 and wrestled out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Just a simple 5-yard out.
Well, the two things thus far that have killed Minnesota this year have been not being able to play the run and the missed tackles. And right here, Kenny Wright just doesn't keep his body weight over his feet, and he lunges. Deuce makes some miss. And those are the things that for Minnesota defensively have just haunted them all year long.
Deuce Staley in the backfield. Two tight ends for Philadelphia. Vikings showed blitz. McNabb rolls and throws too high for Chad Lewis, the tight end. Don Morgan was the cover man on Chad Lewis. Andy Reid, the head coach. This is a pass-first offense, Bill.
Yeah, and that kind of surprises me, too, when you think of Andy Reid. You know, although he was in Green Bay, but look at Andy Reid. I mean, that's an offensive lineman. And he has those big offensive linemen working for him. He got Runyon in here, and he's got Trey Thomas over there. You'd think they'd grind a little bit more, especially given Minnesota's history against the run.
2nd and 10, quick outside, completed to Todd Pinkston, takes it out of bounds in Vikings territory at the 46. JB's got an update on one of the early games. Take it away, JB.
Hey, Sam, Steelers kicker Chris Brown was the GOAT last week, 1 of 5 in a loss to Baltimore. The hero today, 5 of 6, including that winning field goal in overtime. All points scored by Pittsburgh on his foot. Back to Sam Rosen and Bill Moss.
You know, it's amazing, JB, how you can go from the penthouse to the doghouse this quickly in the NFL. 1 week, that's all, man. That's all it takes.
He's back to the penthouse. Steelers 6-2. Jamie Reeder and Deuce Staley, everybody split out. Empty backfield, short drop, and a pass dropped by Todd Pinkston. And the Eagles receivers have been guilty of a lot of drops this season.
And that's been one of the things this year. When, you know, new receivers come in to the mix and you're trying to get your timing down. That was a very catchable ball. It looked like Pinkston was glancing towards the middle of the field to see if the safety was there. A lot of times when those receivers that don't like to go inside in the middle have to go inside, they're always cautious of where that safety's going to be.
Nate Jacquet is deep. Sean Landetta's punt coming down to the 10-yard line. Fair catch at the 9. Sean Landetta, 17th season, continues to go strong. 37-yard punt, no return. And Dante Culpepper in his 3rd year. In his 2nd year last year, led his team to the NFC Championship game. The offensive line, Everett Lindsay starting for the injured Corbin Lucina. David Dixon, the other guard. In the backfield, Doug Chapman starts at running back. Michael Bennett still out. Carter and Moss are the keys. That'll be the matchup. The Eagles cornerbacks against the Vikings wideouts.
They need to get their run game going to open up their pass game downfield, Sam.
People were jumping and the play is whistled down. Flags flying. Brandon Whiting came across for Philadelphia. Let's see if he was drawn off. Ron Blum is up for it.
Ball start. 76 Minnesota. Off the distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
That's Chris Lewinsky who moved first. That sets the Vikings back to their own 4.5-yard line. Carter and Moss both to the right side. Kleinsasser and Chapman in the backfield. And it's Doug Chapman squeezing through the hole, getting up to about the 8-yard line. Damon Moore and Carlos Emmons in on the stop. Take a look at the very aggressive Philadelphia Eagles defense, one of the best in the league. Douglas, Thomas, Simon, and Brandon Whiting. Whiting like a coach on the field. Jeremiah Trotter is the middle linebacker. Emmons and Caldwell, the outside men. And the secondary may be the heart of this Eagles defense. Outstanding.
And the dog of this defense is 53.
3 wide receivers in. Culpepper rolling. Nobody open. Turns it up. Gets up to about the 9-yard line. Hollis Thomas with the tackle on Dante Culpepper.
You know, a couple things. One is look at Al Harris right here on Jake Reed. They go 3 wide receiver and Reed comes in. He can't get off the line of scrimmage. And that's the way it is everywhere. Everybody is matched up. This is a little sprint out pass, a little dash pass to move the pocket for Dante Culpepper, but it still couldn't buy him time.
Andy Kalu, number 94, comes in as a pass rusher. Left end. Hollis Thomas comes out. Whiting moves inside. Culpepper on 3rd and 11 rolling. From the end zone, he fires in. It's almost intercepted by Jeremiah Trotter through his hands. But the Eagles defense with a wonderful series. Pressure from Hugh Douglas on Dante Culpepper.
One of the things that the rushers have to do is you have to stay in your lane. Hugh Douglas has contained here. Now watch, he takes the bull rush, but he lets Culpepper get outside of him. When you have contained on these 2 type quarterbacks, and it's going to play for both defenses, you have to keep them in the pocket.
Rich Berger, 5 yards deep, steps up. Line drive kick. Ryan Mitchell at his own 48. Found a little bit of a lane and goes down at the 45-yard line. JB is going to update us on another game. JB, go ahead.
The misery in Detroit only 4 seconds away from continuing that because Martin Gramatica bangs home his 35-yard field goal with 9 seconds remaining to break the tie. Again, 4 seconds remaining. We'll find out if Detroit falls to 0-8. Back to Sam and Bill.
And Tampa Bay would go to 4-4, which would put more pressure on the Minnesota Vikings.
You look at,
try to stay in contention.
Look at the field position. You know, Minnesota not being able to get that first down. They wanted to establish moving the ball, eating up the clock in their first possession.
Deuce Staley on the draw. Takes it outside. Big gainer for Deuce. Inside the 30, down to the 24-yard line. He picked up 21 on the play. Orlando Thomas finally took him down.
I don't know. I don't think the pads worked this week. Look at the missed tackle right there. Eric Kelly was in the backfield on a run blitz. They brought the corner in, firing off the corner, and he was in the backfield with Deuce just about the time he got the ball.
Deuce's longest run of the season, 21 yards. Eagles at the Vikings 24. Don Morgan and Orlando Thomas, the safeties for Minnesota. Culpepper rolling. Throwing into the end zone. And Todd Pinkston again had his hands on it. Robert Tate the coverage. Pinkston had a chance to make a good catch for a touchdown.
You know, the one thing, talking about moving these quarterbacks around, we've seen a lot of dash passes. This is a little bootleg, getting McNabb out of the pocket. Watch the break on the ball by Orlando Thomas. He's going to come in right there. That breaks the thing up. Tate has a hand on it, but Orlando Thomas comes in and breaks the thing up.
Freddie Mitchell is in, number 84. 3 wide receivers for the Eagles. On 2nd and 10, it's a draw to Staley. And Deuce battles for about 5 yards inside the 20. Tyrone Carter, number 22, the safety, makes the tackle. Deuce Staley looking back in top form. It's been a while coming back. They've slowly brought him back. Carell Buckhalter had started the last 4 games. Staley getting the start, and is off to a good start in today's game. 3 carries, 30 yards. Cecil Martin and Deuce Staley in the backfield. On 3rd and 6. Donovan McNabb throws, and it's caught at the 15-yard line by James Thrash. Let's see where they spot it.
How about the velocity on that ball?
He fired it in there. It's going to be close. They'll have to measure. From this angle, it looks just a hair short.
You know, Donovan McNabb in these 2 quick series, I know they script their first 15 plays and they know what they're going to run, but he sure seems decisive in where he's going with the football. You know, he's looking and the ball's coming out quick. Prior to this, in the last few games I've seen him play, he really looks like he's been holding on to the ball and thinking about the reads and looking around. He's come out and he's decisive. He's firing.
They made it by a nose of the football. It is a first down for the Eagles at the 14-yard line. Red zone for the Eagles. They have been perfect this season with 17 trips, 12 touchdowns, 5 field goals.
They just haven't been there enough.
On the left. That's right. McNabb checking off. Cecil Martin goes to the right. Deuce Staley goes left. McNabb, short drop, looking, has time, throws, wide open, touchdown, James Thrash. Whatever McNabb called at the line of scrimmage, it was the right play. He got great protection, and Thrash hauls it in. And the Eagles continue their outstanding numbers in the red zone. David Akers out of the hold of Coy Detmer for the extra point. And the Eagles are on the board first. 6th touchdown reception for James Thrash. 11th touchdown pass thrown by Donovan McNabb. And the Eagles have a 7-0 lead. And we welcome those of you just been watching Tampa Bay and Detroit. Sam Rosen and Bill Moss at the vet in Philadelphia, where the Philadelphia Eagles have just marched 45 yards for a touchdown, capped off on this pass.
Well, Donovan McNabb audible at the line of scrimmage with under 5 seconds left to go on the clock. They got the ball off, and what he saw was that he had man coverage, and he knew that there wasn't going to be any deep zone safety help because Minnesota was coming with the blitz to get pressure. The blitz was pricked up front. It was all picked up. Had all the time in the world. He just waited on Thrash to beat his man. Nobody, no safety in the middle of the field, and he just was waiting for Thrash to get open.
Beat Don Morgan on the play. We're early first quarter. The Eagles scoring in their 2nd possession. See McNabb in the pocket 4 for 5, out of the pocket 0 for 2. 5 plays, 45 yards, and McNabb to thrash, 14-yard touchdown. David Akers to kick off. Nate Jacquet is deep for Minnesota. Troy Walters out with a knee injury. Jacquet comes up to the 16. He squeezes through. He breaks it outside and gets across the 40. Good return for Nate Jacquet. 25-yard return. This is a must-win for the Minnesota Vikings. Green Bay and Chicago are 6-2 in the NFC Central, with Green Bay winning in Chicago today. Tampa Bay has won. They are 4-4. The Vikings need to keep pace with a win. Their last game was 2 weeks ago, a 41-14 loss at Tampa Bay. Last week, a bye week. Jim Kleinsasser, the big fullback, barrels his way across the 45. Corey Simon and Hollis Thomas, the inside men, the 2 tackles made the stop.
You know, Sam, that when you talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, you talk about the West Coast offense, you talk about Donovan McNabb, you talk about all the things that go on offensively. But the reason that touchdown was scored was because of the field position. That this defense, that this Philly defense, look at the numbers on this unit. What they presented. They gave them the short field back to the offense, and McNabb made it work.
Kleinsasser and Chapman in the backfield. Eagles showing blitz. Here it comes. And it's Chapman straight through. Brought down by Carlos Emmons. But he's got a first down at the 47-yard line of Philadelphia.
Well, how about Minnesota's doing here? 2 series. They're out here running the ball, Sam. This isn't Culpepper, Moss, and Carter. Heck, we haven't even talked about Moss and Carter yet. Kleinsasser, the lead blocker on Caldwell. Chapman pounding up in the middle. That's a lead play. That's a power run game play. It's evident right now that Minnesota is trying to make an attitude here.
They want to run. They haven't been able to most of the season. Culpepper off the play fake, going deep down the sideline, incomplete, intended for Byron Chamberlain, the tight end. Thrown a little high, and then he took a hard hit from Brian Dawkins, the safety.
Well, it's been windy down there on the field. When I was down there prior to the game, that wind blowing around on the field. You can see the flags on the top of the goalpost. I don't know if that sailed on them or not, but you can see that was well overthrown.
Brings 2nd and 10. You see the flag straight out. With the wind blowing here in Philadelphia. 2 tight ends for Minnesota. The lone setback, Doug Chapman, the second-year man from Marshall, gets down to the 45-yard line. Picked up 2 on the play, brings up 3rd and long for Minnesota.
You know, Michael Bennett was sat down. He came back. He practiced a little bit last week on their bye week. That was their first-round draft choice, the speedster out of Wisconsin. But they didn't feel he was healthy enough, so he's inactive today. So you may see a lot of Doug Chapman, Travis Prentice, who they traded for with Cleveland, Jimmy Kleinsasser.
Right now what we see are 3 wideouts as Jake Reed goes right, Moss and Carter left. And Culpepper works out of the shotgun. Here comes the blitz coming. It's picked up. Culpepper throwing, completes to Chris Carter. He dives for the first down. They go underneath to Carter. And the one-time Philadelphia Eagle, he spent his first 3 years of his NFL career in Philadelphia, makes the catch.
Culpepper had to scramble to get that ball out of the shotgun snap, but the blitz pickup was sensational by the guys up front. And nobody was around Culpepper in the backfield. He was able to find his receivers. He found Chris Carter for the first down. But, you know, the one thing Philadelphia does is 53% of the time on 3rd down, they're going to blitz you. They go over half the time, and Minnesota was well-versed on it and picked it up.
Calvin Collins is in at left guard. Kleinsasser goes straight ahead for a couple of yards. Collins replacing Everett Lindsey, who started, and Lindsey is in there as well.
You know, Sam, one of the things that Minnesota needs to do, all philosophically in their offense, is they've got to get this guy right here. They've got to get the strong safety up into the box, because teams have been able to stop the run with just 7. Okay? Now that these guys are back here and they're playing Moss and Carter over the top, and their passing game, the long ball hasn't been there.
Brad Badger, the left tackle, is out for Minnesota. Lindsey has moved to tackle, and Collins the guard. Here's Culpepper rolling, throwing deep into the end zone for Randy Moss. actually. Moss was tied up in the corner by Damon Moore. He appealed to the official, but the throw was actually about 5 yards inside of Randy Moss.
Well, if he was tied up, he's working. Here's Taylor, Al Harris right there, and he chucks him back to the back where the safety is going to be. Now right here, he's tied up. That ball looked poorly thrown. It just looked poorly thrown.
4 wide receivers for Minnesota. On 3rd and 8. Heinzsasser, the lone setback.
We're showing blitz.
Short drop. And the pass dropped by Jake Reed. Troy Vincent, the left cornerback, with the hit on Jake Reed, forcing the drop. And let's see what the Vikings do on 4th and long. They send on the punting unit. Mitch Berger comes out.
But that Philadelphia bunch, they're aggressive. They play a lot of man defense up in your face. Then they bring it. They bring zone fire zones. They bring the corners up. That time Bobby Taylor rushed off the corner.
Berger. Oh, by a short punt. He wanted to kick it high and short. Gets a good roll. And it goes out of bounds. Looked like the punt itself went about 20 yards, but he got a good roll, and it goes out of bounds at the 9-yard line. The Eagles with their 3rd possession when we come back. Back at the vet in Philadelphia. NFC Central standings. Green Bay beating Chicago, Tampa Bay beating Detroit. In Minnesota, you see a 3-4, a team that went to the NFC Championship game last year. Needing this win badly. Eagles start from their 9. They lead the NFC East with a 4-3 record. McNabb, plenty of time, dumped it off. It was juggled by Staley. And he held on at the 11-yard line. Pickup of 2 on the play. Lance Johnstone, number 51, made the tackle for the Vikings. Staley, you see the numbers this season. Injured in the 2nd game of the season. Makes the draw play, nothing there. Vikings, good job inside. Stalin Colonnay, number 93, made the tackle. Winfield Garnett also in on the stop. Colonnay, who originally was a draft pick of Minnesota, left. Now they reacquired him this year. Now is starting. This is 3rd week that he's starting.
Well, they would reacquire anybody they could that could help him out on the defensive line. That's really been a problem, but they're holding up here early.
On 3rd down, McNabb, nobody open, running for it, and he's got the 1st down. It's out of bounds at the 21-yard line. McNabb with the great running ability took off when no one was open.
Well, a couple things. One, he has a lot of time. Watch the time he has from the guys up front. There's no pass rush from Minnesota. He can sit in the pocket all day long. But he just decides on his own. The clock in his head says, you know what, it's time to take off. Nobody is open. Then he finds a 1st down out of it.
And that's something he talked about, Bill, about taking off rather than holding on to the ball too long. On 1st down, Staley cutting back, slips a couple of tackles, turns it into a big gain. Up to the 38-yard line. Kenny Wright made the stop. Deuce Staley running well. 17-yard pickup.
Well, you miss tackles is going to be the theme early, and you hate to harp on it, but they've got him corralled right there. They have him. Morgan, 31, the strong safety, missed the tackle. Nobody from the line. Once they had him corralled, was able to bring him down. And this is what has been killing Minnesota defensively. And it's what has been hampering their offense. Because their offense has found themselves in a situation where they're always playing from behind.
5 carries, 47 yards. This is number 6. And Deuce Staley goes across the 40 to the 41. He's now at 50 yards for the game and 6 carries. The middle linebacker, Kylie Wong, number 52, made the tackle for the Vikings. But the Eagles seem to be mixing it up pretty well, getting their running game established.
Well, if you looked at the film of Tampa Bay game, you'd have to say, you know what, we're going to come out and establish the run. And look at the size difference in the offensive line of the Eagles and the defensive line of Minnesota.
Eagles with 3 wide receivers off the play fake. McNabb for Freddie Mitchell. He's got it. Freddie Mitchell had 2 catches in the first game this season. He had 4 last week in Arizona, and he's becoming a force for the Eagles.
Donovan McNabb again, Sam. All the time in the world. Everything starts up front, and he had the time. He's facing his zone defense here. Watch Freddie settle down in front of Orlando Thomas, a free safety. Donovan McNabb had time to find him and just waited on his break. Freddie Mitchell is going to be a heck of a receiver in this league. He's still learning this game and learning this offense.
17-yard pickup from the Vikings. 42. The play fake by McNabb. Again, plenty of time. Nobody open. Slipped away from one man. Beats another one. McNabb with a beautiful run to the 27-yard line. Kenny Wright finally takes him down, but you're seeing the tremendous athletic ability of Donovan McNabb.
I see a shoe out on the field. I see a jockstrap out on the field. Donovan McNabb. We talked about the quarterbacks early on. Right there, a big move. Guys falling on the ground. There's a broken ankle by Kylie Long. There's a jockstrap out there. It's just, you know, that's the thing about these 2 quarterbacks. When you talk about Culpepper and McNabb, is their rare ability not just to scramble and make people miss, but they also buy themselves time.
Picked up 15 on the plays, checking off again. McNabb 2 rushes for 25 yards. And everybody jumping across. Somebody moved for the Eagles. Looked like Jermaine Mayberry, the right guard, moved too soon.
Ball starts, 71, Philadelphia. 5 yards, repeat first down.
Sam, I was talking to Donovan McNabb on Friday. I sat down with him, and I was talking to him about sitting in the pocket. I was watching him on film, and I know he wants to be classified as a pocket passer, but, you know, they'll categorize all that when he's all said and done, after he's done playing. I asked him, what do you need to do to get back to taking charge of this team? And he said, I got to start running more. I have to just look at my reads, and if they're not there, do what I can do, that X element that brings it, and that's run the ball.
Eagles have 2 tight ends in. Short drop. Throw to Todd Mixon down to the 20-yard line. Picked up 12 on the play on the 1st and 15.
You know, here's a guy that's really coming along in this offense. He's a little wiry kind of player, but he's had time to work with Donovan through the offseason, through training camp. He's getting pretty comfortable. You look at the numbers that he's thrown. He's got about 24 catches thus far this year, and he's right up there amongst the leaders.
2nd and 3. Staley bounces it outside, gets a first down, goes down to the 11-yard line. Eric Kelly, number 25, the cornerback, made the stop. But Staley making some real nifty moves as he gets to the line of scrimmage.
Well, I've watched Deuce play, and look at the numbers there. You know who's got to be sitting there just dying is Robert Griffin, the injured strong safety for Minnesota Vikings, because he's the guy that when he's in the game, he's up there around the line of scrimmage, and teams are unable to do that to them.
The Eagles driving from their own 9 to the Vikings 12. We've reached the end of the first quarter. The Eagles lead the Vikings 7-0. We'll be back right after a message from your local Fox station. Back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the Eagles have a 7-0 lead on the Minnesota Vikings and are driving. First down at the Vikings 12. The play fake, McNabb flushed out of the pocket. Inside the 10, to the goal line, touchdown! Another beautiful run by Donovan McNabb.
Can't let him out of contain. What did we talk about at the top? Talked about the quarterback who gets the most yards either by scrambling or buying himself time to throw is going to be the team that wins. And thus far early on, it's been all Donovan McNabb.
McNabb's 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. And the Eagles, with a marvelous start to this game, cap off a 91-yard, 10-play drive. David Akers' extra point is good. The Eagles have a 14-0 lead.
There's the bootleg. He's looking downfield for the throw. Everyone's covered up. Reverse pivot and take. Look at the moves here. You give him a couple spoons and a tambourine, he might be a one-man band. Get a little maraca going.
What happened to the basketball finger roll?
Touchdown run Right here, Deuce Staley. They've been hammering him all day. He's got 7 rushes for 58 yards. So they block down, and you think it's a run. Lance Johnstone loses contain outside because he's playing the run. And Donovan McNabb is gone.
To the live action, Doug Chapman on first down. Loss of a yard. The Eagles defense penetrates. Hollis Thomas, good run stopper, made the tackle. JB's got an update. Let's go to him right now.
Hey, Sam, Giants trying to stay right on the heels of the first place Philadelphia Eagles. 7 plays, 44 yards later, a 3-yard run by Ron Dane, 7-0 Giants. Then take a look at Jeff Garcia hooking up with his favorite target, Terrell Owens, 25 yards. It's 7-3 San Francisco over the Saints. Back to Sam Rosen and Bill Moss.
Terrell Owens may not be happy with the coach and the coach with him, but Owens makes plays. Right here on second down for Minnesota. Brought out to Randy Moss. He's hit hard. He drops the ball, but as he went down, let's see what the call is. I think he was down at the 45-yard line.
They blew it dead. Yeah, they blew it dead.
Dawkins with a hard hit, but it's spotted at the 46-yard line. It's still Vikings ball. Vikings had only 29 yards offense in the first.
Donovan McNabb himself had 112. There's the shot right there. The ball is out well before he's down. That's a fumble.
Wow.
They can't challenge it, however, because they blew the play dead.
Ruled down by contact. There's a 3rd and 1 for Minnesota. An important play. Culpepper trying to sneak for it. This will be very close. Let's see where the spot is. Vikings have to get something going. Eagles have the 2-touchdown lead. And the Vikings have yet to get anything sustained.
Sam, on third downs, the Vikings have had 11 rushes for first downs. Dante Culpepper, coming into this, had 9 of them. The rest of the team had 2. I believe this is going to be his 10th.
They bring the chains out to measure. Thus far, the Eagles have done exactly what they've wanted. They've taken Carter and Moss out just inches short. It's going to be 4th and inches for Minnesota. Carter's had 1 catch for a first down on the 3rd down play, and Moss had that 1 catch on a little swing pass.
You look at the play selection by Minnesota, 7 rushes and 6 passes. Very well balanced.
Eagles bring in Paul Grassmanis, Derek Burgess. Here's 4th and inches. Kleinsasser in the backfield with Dante Culpepper.
I think you come up here and try to hard count him first off. See if you can get him to jump. Get the easy way.
4 wide receivers. Quarterback sneak. He only needed a couple of inches. And the big guy, Dante Culpepper, who weighs 265, maybe 270, should have enough. Down in the trenches.
Look at Lewinsky. Take a look at Big Lou. He's in the follow-up. He's got this guy going that way. This guy. Look at that. You don't think a yard is tough to get in the NFL?
I do. First down, Vikings. Doug Chapman landed to David Moore. Takes him down at the 40-yard line. Picked him up about 4 on the play. Brad Badger suffered a sprained left toe and will not return. Calvin Collins, number 65, 50-year man, is in at left guard. And Everett Lindsey, the versatile lineman, has moved to left tackle.
The one thing that I have to compliment Minnesota on is them being patient. They're not trying to force the deep ball downfield. A lot of times in the past they get behind and they just start throwing the ball downfield to Moss and Carter. They're establishing the run and chewing up yards.
Moss in motion. Second down, the blitz on. It's thrown incomplete. Moss was cutting short over the middle, covered by Mike Caldwell, and actually tripped and went down.
Well, here's Randy Moss. One of the things they're trying to do is get him in motion so you can't roll coverage. But as he comes out of this break right here, he takes a shot. And I believe that ball was in the air when he took the shot.
So too.
Caldwell is allowed to make contact with him because he's inside of 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. You can get a chuck on him, but not when the ball is in the air. That should have been pass interference.
Culpepper is 2 for 7 for 19 yards. Have to get to the 34 for a first down. He dropped the ball, picks it up, in trouble, down he goes. Hugh Douglas was there to wrap him up for Philadelphia. And right now, things looking very shaky for the Vikings.
I don't think he was ready for this snap. I think the snap came, he wasn't ready, or he didn't see it. Or possibly Moss in motion. Watch, Moss comes across just as the snap comes, and I don't think he saw it coming.
Jeremiah Trotter and Hugh Douglas there to make the tackle on Dante Culpepper. Mitch Berger's third punt of the game. It's been all Eagles to this point. Berger gets time. End over end punt. Brian Mitchell with a fair catch at the 14-yard line. After the whistle, some pushing and shoving going on. Patrick Chukwura, number 50, involved. Now he gets into the face of Brian Mitchell. 32-yard punt, no return. The battle on special teams. Tuesday, catch Kiefer Sutherland in a new episode of 24. That's Tuesday at 9, 8 Central, right here on Fox. And if you missed the premiere of 24, you can catch it tonight and tomorrow on FX. Check your local cable listings. Everybody I've talked to, Bill, says, great show. Kiefer Sutherland, outstanding. Hugh Staley on first down. Gets up to about the 14-yard line. Back to the line of scrimmage. Big day so far for Deuce Staley.
Well, been very active, been a very big part of this offense. They've matched him up outside, get the ball to him, and most importantly, they're trying to establish that run game. Take a little bit of the heat off this passing offense.
He lost a yard on the last carry, 2nd and 11. At the 14, short drop. McNabb throws to James Thrash. The ball was pulled out of his hands. And let's see what the ruling is.
I tell you, well, two things. One, nobody blew the whistle. Two, nobody threw the bag out on the field to mark that it was a fumble.
The Vikings think it should be a fumble. The officials are discussing it. The ball was ripped out of the hands of James Thrash by Kenny Wright, the quarterback.
Minnesota, first down.
Minnesota recovers. It's a fumble and a recovery for the Vikings.
Normally on a fumble, if somebody throws that little blue bag, that little blue bean bag out on the field, he gets hit there, his knee, that's a fumble. That's a fumble. He wasn't down on the ground.
That's a big play by Kenny Wright.
Ball's out.
So a big chance here for the Vikings at the Eagles' 24-yard line. 3 wide receivers for Minnesota. Lawson Carter left, Jake Reed right. Culpepper sends everybody out. Throws to the tight end. Byron Chamberlain, he's out of bounds inside the 20. Al Harris took him out of bounds. Short pickup.
Byron Chamberlain's been a guy that has made a lot of catches in this offense. Watch how they use this right here. They're going to send Moss and Carter down the field. Watch what it does. These guys are gone. These guys are gone. Everybody's gone. Here comes Chamberlain underneath.
Picked up 4 on the play. Ryan Sasser and Travis Prentice in the backfield now for Minnesota. Culpepper checking off. Again, a short drop. Floating it out to Randy Moss. And it actually hit Troy Vincent. The wind may have held that pass up, Bill. What do you think?
No, that was Dante Culpepper, because they're so used to watching the safety roll over the top to Moss's side. He tries to throw the ball in between the two of them and hangs it up in the middle. He knows he's coming over the top, so he tries to put the ball here, and it's just not enough. He's trying to position the ball to Moss because he knows he's getting that high-low coverage. Meanwhile, the middle of the field is wide open. That's Byron Chamberlain.
3 wide receivers for the Vikings. Paul Grass-Madison at tackle for Philadelphia. On third down, the blitz coming. Culpepper in trouble. He's down. Damon Moore tripped him up. Second sack for the Eagles. Big defensive play by the safety, Damon Moore.
Watch these guys coming. Right up the gut here in the middle. There's pressure from everybody around. The thing about Philadelphia is a lot of teams pressure and blitz and come after you, and nothing really happens. When Philadelphia does, they usually get to the quarterback.
First sack of the season for David Moore. Earlier, Jeremiah Trotter and Hugh Douglas shared a sack. There's a 43-yard try for Gary Anderson, and it's good. And a very important 3 points for the Minnesota Vikings. Randy Moss and Chris Carter have caught only 2 passes together today.
Patience thing isn't going over very well with Randy Moss and Chris Carter. Mike Tyson, offensive line coach, is trying to tell Chris, hey, we've got a pace going here. We've got to get first downs. And here's, look at Randy Moss all the way down here away from the rest of the team. These guys want the ball, and they want the long ball. They've got to establish a run game. They've got to be patient because it's not there.
They're not happy. There's Brian Mitchell on the return for the Eagles from the 10. Finds the lane. Mitchell up near midfield, out of bounds. Outstanding return for Brian Mitchell to the 48-yard line. The Eagles with excellent field position after a 38-yard return by Brian Mitchell. Tyrone Carter finally took him out. And in the baseball cap is John Harbaugh, the special teams coach, and his special teams are outstanding. You see the rankings for the Eagles, both in returns and coverage. McNabb on first down for Pinkston.
Flag.
Interference.
Absolutely flag on that play.
Kenny Wright is the man called for the pass interference.
The problem was, Sam, he wasn't looking back at the ball. That's what happened there. Had he been looking back at the ball to make a play on the ball, that would have been one thing.
Ron Blum
Holding
the announcement.
number 20, Minnesota, 5 yards, first down.
We have to remind Ron where the camera is.
He's got a good backside. He had his hand on his collar.
Now what's going on the sideline here, Bill?
Well, Mike Tyson's trying to settle down the 2 deep threats. Randy Moss, I think he's making some headway with Randy Moss. They gave a little dap with a fist after they parted ways, but I think he's still having a hard time calming down Chris Carter.
A bunch to the left side. Freddie Mitchell is in for Todd Pinkston. They go reverse.
This is going to be a pass. This is a pass.
Up. He's got a great arm, but there's nobody open. So Mitchell runs. Gets it outside. He's got a first down out of bounds at the 35. It was supposed to be a pass play. And then when no one was open, Mitchell pulled it down and turned it into a 12-yard run.
Well, for Mitchell, watch. No, look how deep the safety is back here. So they've got coverage. Nobody's buying that this is a reverse. And the coverage is downfield. The safeties are real deep. Pretty good judgment by Mitchell to see it's not there, not to force it and take off and find some seams and some more missed tackles by Minnesota.
Eagles mixing it up beautifully. Todd Pinkston is back in. First down, Eagles at the Vikings 35. Delay to Staley. Nothing that time. Time for an update. From the Fox Television Center, here's JB.
Hey, Sam, take a look at what the Giants are doing. Terry Collins dropping back, play action, looking, throws a nice one, post route to Ike Hilliard. It's now 14-0 Giants over Zona. Jeff Garcia flushed out of the pocket. He's dangerous here, hooking up with his favorite bucket, Terrell Owens, for the second touchdown reception. How do you settle a few? Mariucci, Owens, touchdowns. Back to Sam and Bill.
Thanks, JB. Hasn't Jeff Garcia turned into something special? He's really done a great job.
He's the quarterback of the future for a guy that wasn't supposed to be the quarterback of the future.
Over the middle, and it's complete to the tight end, Chad Lewis. Last year, Lewis was the favorite target for Donovan McNabb. This year, the receivers are better. Lewis is being used a little less frequently, but still an important part of the offense.
Well, you know, last year he was kind of McNabb's security blanket. He always knew where to find him. He's a guy that runs good routes, really a possession-type receiver, good hands, and a real hard worker. This year they thought they'd open up the offense a little bit more. Now they're getting back to some of the basics.
Lewis in motion to Staley. A block from Trey Thomas. He hops over the fallen defender and goes out of bounds at the 18. It's a first down. Staley running hard. Looked like he was going to get bottled up, and then just hopped over Trey Thomas and the defender and got the first down.
You know what Minnesota needs to do? They need to go to the sidelines, every one of the defenders, and go get their ankles taped outside their shoe. Go get spatted up, because something's going to happen to them. There they get trucked, just runs over. Look at Thomas right here. Lando Thomas just falls down, completely falls down.
First down, Eagles at the 18. Staley, 10 carries, 67 yards. The play fake, McNabb rolling and throwing to John Lewis, incomplete. Eric Kelly was covering on the play, thrown a little bit high for Lewis. Once again, the Eagles threatening in the red zone.
You know, a lot more rollout for Donovan McNabb, and you can see the Philadelphia fans. They got that "let's roll" out.
Yeah.
Remember Todd Beamer?
Right.
And that thing has really sparked the nation. President Bush made reference to it in his speech the last time he addressed the nation. And now the Philadelphia Eagles fans are saying, let's roll out. Let's get McNabb moving a little bit. Let's get this team jumping.
4 wide receivers for the Eagles. Blitz coming. McNabb got rid of it, incomplete. Intended for Deuce Staley. And it's off his hands. In the pocket, Donovan McNabb has been sharp. Rolling, he's
been a little bit inactive.
Little off.
You know, he hasn't done it for a while. Heck, I don't think he's done it much the first half of the season. But when he does move around, it creates a great stress on the defense. Go get that ironed out.
Here's 3rd and 10. With Staley and Reeder in the backfield and Mitchell in motion. McNabb, some pressure. In trouble. He gets away. Here comes more trouble, and he throws. Incomplete. Trying to get it to Deuce Staley. But the Vikings put some pressure on that time.
Yeah, I got to tell you what. If I'm the Vikings, I am so frustrated right now. Take a look at how much time he has on the sack clock. Sitting in the pocket. You're supposed to get there in 3 seconds. This guy buys himself more time than maybe anybody else in the league. I've seen Jake Plummer do an outstanding job at it at times, but I don't think anybody's more athletic at doing it than Donovan McNabb.
David Akers out of the hold of Coy Detmer. It's a 36-yard field goal try. And it is right through. Strong leg of David Akers. The Eagles have been in the red zone 3 times today and come away with 17 points. Special teams, they work at it real well. That's Mike Bartram. The holder is Coy Detmer.
Well, watch it. The snap. It's a one-handed snap, and when he throws it back there, the laces are always facing out. Just like it is right there. Never have to turn it, never have to position it. The ball's set and ready to go, and that's all because of the deep snapper, Mike Bartram.
There's Bartram. A 3rd tight end on the Eagles, was brought in for his long snapping ability last year. David Akers to kick off. Nate Jacquet, who's had 2 good returns, is deep. Jacquet comes up to the 13. Straight up the middle. And he got tripped up. That's a good tackle on the play by Tim Houck. One of the fine special teamers. He's a man who doesn't like training camp. They usually sign him late.
The thing about it is, he always gets that call because somebody's going to need him at the end of training camp.
Randy Moss splitting out to the right side. He has only 1 catch, as does Chris Carter. Vikings have only 35 yards total offense thus far in the first half. From their 31, the draw play to Doug Chapman. Back to the line of scrimmage where he's stacked up. Everybody knows about the big playability of the Vikings, but they haven't really been able to come up with many big plays this year. In the league, 50-yard catches. There have been 40. Carter has had 1. Randy Moss, none. That's surprising to me.
It's shocking, and that's because defenses have figured out that they can roll coverage to Randy Moss and make it difficult for placement. Dante Culpepper's forced it 5 or 6 times this year, and it's ended up in interception, so he's backed off trying to force the long ball.
Vikings 3 wide receivers out of the shotgun over the middle for Carter. It's broken up. Jeremiah Trotter, the middle linebacker, dropped back in coverage and helped break it up. JB's got an update. Take it away, JB.
Saints getting back into it, Sam. Take a look at Aaron Brooks' play action. He's dangerous on the move. Hooking up with Joe Horn, 22-yard strike. And the 2-point conversion was good. It is now 14-11. San Francisco back to San Rosa.
That's an important game with St. Louis winning today. New Orleans and San Francisco battling for second, and Atlanta came up with a big win. Atlanta will be at Green Bay next week. Minnesota 1 for 6 on 3rd down. Culpepper is sacked. Hugh Douglas, the ball popped loose.
Bobby Taylor picked it up.
Eagles recover the fumble. Hugh Douglas was there. Big hit, forced the fumble.
Well, they come with a blitz on this side, so that leaves man protection backside with Hugh Douglas, and this isn't Brad Badger. That's Everett Lindsay. He slid out to tackle because Calvin Collins can only play guard. He gets beat on the outside right out of the snap count. Loud Philadelphia crowd. It looked like Lindsay never got back in his stance to have a chance to stop Hugh Douglas.
Hugh Douglas now with 6.5 sacks. He's got 1.5 today. 3 sacks for the Eagles, who go from the 19-yard line. Deuce Staley gets about a yard on the play. Hugh Douglas, who says he represents the little men at 270 pounds.
Well, that's what inspires him. And last week against Arizona, I mean, he just was able to get nasty. He can get physical with those big 346, 7 kind of guys. He gets leverage by getting underneath them, and then he has an explosiveness to close on the quarterback. And the best thing I like about him, he plays with a mean streak.
1.5 sacks today for Hugh Douglas. McNabb being pressured, gets rid of it, completes it to James Burns, heading for the corner, touchdown! Second touchdown catch of the day for James Thrash. 17-yard touchdown pass. Donovan McNabb, second of the game. And Thrash, who had been catching touchdowns on the road, has caught 2 today at home. David Akers for the extra point. It's a 21-point lead for the Eagles.
Well, credit the defense again for getting the ball back to him. This is complete Philadelphia Eagle team play. There's the 3 bunch receivers over the side. Now, what they do is they get the mismatch. Now, these guys are picked up. Thrash settles down right underneath as he sees they're picked up. Orlando Thomas is trying to get over there to sort it out, as is Eddie McDaniel, but Thrash cuts it back across the grain. Nobody's around.
Good pickup for the Eagles. James Thrash, signed as a free agent. Donovan McNabb connects with him. McNabb with 2 touchdown passes, 1 touchdown run. Thrash with 2 touchdowns today. And the sack and the fumble converted into 7 points for Philadelphia. Now, the Eagles only 1-3 at home, Bill, but they're really playing well today.
They're having their way. They're having their way with Minnesota on offense and defense.
Hard to understand why the Eagles have been 1-3 at home, but part of it might be the schedule too.
Well, look at it. They played 2 of the best teams in the NFL in Oakland and St. Louis, and they played them both tough. Yeah. You know, they gave up a lot of yards to Oakland, but heck, that one St. Louis went down to the wire.
David Akers to kick off. Nate Chuckett steps up to the 5. slips one man, goes out of bounds up at the 38-yard line. Good return. NFL on Fox next week. It's a doubleheader weekend. All begins with the best pregame show there is at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. And then the Atlanta Falcons go to Lambeau to meet the Packers. Philadelphia Eagles take on the Dallas Cowboys. Second game, Bears go to Tampa in a big matchup. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Earlier today, St. Louis won over Carolina. Warner, one touchdown. Brett Favre had a big day in Chicago. 9-1 lifetime at Soldier Field. Play fake by Culpepper. Minnesota down by 21. The pass intercepted. Intercepted by Troy Vincent. And now the turnovers are killing the Vikings. The Eagles threatening to turn it into a rout.
Well, there's a sprint pass, but Eagles are onto it. The coverage on the receivers is being won by the Philadelphia Eagles secondary. You talked earlier, Sam, about the strength of this unit, the defensive unit, and it lies in the secondary and the fact that they can cover up man-to-man, and that enables them to blitz an extra guy, to bring an extra guy all the time on pressure on the quarterback.
Eagles have two tight ends as they go from the Vikings 49. McNabb, plenty of time, waits and finds Deuce Staley. Slips Kylie Wong. Gets a first down, out of bounds at the 35-yard line. JV has another update for us. Let's go to him right now.
Sam and Bill, take a look at Arizona getting back into it with the Giants. Plummer looking. Good coverage downfield. Flushed out the pocket. Goes back left. What did he do? 38 yards. Look at the little push right here by David Paulson. Not called. Howie says his father must be an official. 14-7. Giants over Arizona. Back to Sam and Bill.
Good job of buying time by Jake Plummer. 15-yard pickup on the last play. Eagles on top of the NFC East. Giants in second place. Thomason shifts. McNabb dumps it off to Deuce Staley. And he goes down the sideline. Cuts inside, a hard hit as he went inside the 20. Orlando Thomas, number 42, with the hit. But Deuce is hopping.
And he should, because basically this offense right now is just doing whatever they want. They've got the pass, they've got the rollouts, their power running the football. Now they come back and they catch this defense with a screen. Orlando Thomas with a big hit on Deuce. He lit him up. But you know what? Deuce is so excited about his play today and the opportunities he's had to touch the ball. Heck, it doesn't matter. Go ahead, hit me, he says.
He's putting up some great numbers, and when he touches the ball, the fans yell, Deuce, Deuce.
No.
McNabb throwing, and there's a flag on the play. Trying to get it to James Thrash. Maybe a holding call on this one. Eric Kelly was the cornerback covering Thrash, and that's the call. It'll be an automatic first down for Philadelphia.
Holding 25 Minnesota, 5 yards, first down.
Well, what's going to happen is there's 25. He's going to get his collar because there's a pump fake right there. See? And he bites on the pump fake, and when he realizes Thrash is coming back and going deep on him, he reaches out and latches on.
Puts the ball at the Minnesota 13. So the Vikings usually come out of a bye week pretty strong. Right now, are being buried. Cecil Martin and Terrell Buckhalter in the backfield. It's Buckhalter dashing through, pounding his way down to the 1-yard line, just short of the goal line.
I'll tell you what they should have bought on that bye week. They should have bought some defensive players. If you have a bye week, go spend money. Go buy some defensive players. They didn't buy anything on the bye week. That's the problem. They bought time.
Terrell Buckhalter, a good job behind.
Look at this double team right there. They just blow Stalin Colonnade right off the line of scrimmage.
Buckhalter leads the Eagles in rushing. Over the top. Touchdown, Eagles. Terrell Buckhalter with his second touchdown of the season. And the Eagles convert another turnover. Earlier it was the fumble recovery. This time the interception. 49-yard drive. And it's a first-half blowout for the Eagles.
And there's no possible way, you saw the look of Randy Moss, there's no possible way that that's offense of the Vikings can work when their defense can't stop anything.
David Akers for the extra point. The Philadelphia Eagles, 31-3. With 2:20 to go in the first half.
There's the surge, and this is just Buckwalter over the top. Nothing to that, the way that offensive line has been playing. But if you go back to the play before, the job they did on this run, I want you to take a look at the right tackle, John Runyon. He's going to get this block here on Colonnade and get him knocked out. Then he's going to come up and get up on a safety. Watch what he does to Carter. He just blows him out of the way, too. John Runyon with a double block. First knocking Stalin Colonnade off the ball and then getting up on the safety, Carter. Outstanding job at Big Runyon.
And the Eagles continue to be perfect in the red zone. 5 possessions today. They've scored on all 5. 4 touchdowns, 1 field goal. They're perfect all season. Right now, everything going right for the Eagles. Offensively, they started fast, and then the defense has done its job as well.
Well, the offense started fast because remember what the defense did? They shut down Minnesota down here, got them backed up, and they got the ball on their 40-yard line going in. And that's been a key. And Andy Reid talked about one thing. He talked about this is the time of year that teams start separating themselves from the rest of the pack.
Eagles have 269 yards offense, 139 passing, 130 rushing. Akers picking off Jaquette at the 3. Slips one man, forced out of bounds at the 24-yard line. The Eagles defense has forced some turnovers. The sack by Douglas and a fumble turned into a touchdown by James Thrash. Interception by Troy Vincent. 49-yard drive, and Correll Buckwalter with a 1-yard dive for the touchdown. It's all working for Philadelphia. Harold Morrow in the backfield with Jim Kleinsasser for Minnesota as they go from their 24. His second catch of the game, Brian Dawkins took him down up the 44-yard line. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. The Vikings' last game was 2 weeks ago. They lost 41-14. They are down 31-3 with 2 minutes to go in the first half. Offensive production in a half for the Eagles since 1988 as they have put up 31 points. Bill Moss is going to head down to the Eagles locker room for halftime.
Heck, they may be having a party down there.
That's right. Just tell Andy Reid, whatever you're doing right. Culpepper under pressure. And the Eagles are there. Picked up maybe 2 on the play. Culpepper likes to run straight ahead as opposed to McNabb, who likes to run outside, Bill.
He is dangerous when he gets ahead of steam, but right now he'd settle for anything. And he hasn't been able to get anything going.
Corey Simon is out with a leg injury for Philadelphia. Paul Grassmanis, number 96, is in. Out of the shotgun, everybody out. Culpepper in trouble. Got away from Douglas. And Chris Carter, did he stay in bounds? No, it's ruled incomplete. Carter made a valiant effort.
Take a look at this here. One of them was saying, one of the officials, 2 officials on that sideline. One is the linesman. It looks like he's on the white. And the other is the side judge right here. He comes running in. He says catch. Watch his hands. He comes in and says catch. He says no. He says catch. And then he goes no. And then Mike Tyson's over there saying catch.
Vikings 1 for 7 on 3rd down. 3 wide receivers in. Harold Morrow in the backfield. Here comes the blitz for the Eagles. Culpepper throws and completes it to Jake Reed out of bounds at the Eagles' 44-yard line. It's a first down for Minnesota. with 1:19 remaining in the first half, and the Vikings down by 4 touchdowns. And now
Throw out that game plan of trying to run the ball. You're going to find a way to get some points in a hurry.
the Eagles defense has been outstanding. A lot of pressure on Dante Culpepper. Done a great job of keeping Randy Moss and Chris Carter quiet. Over the middle, complete to Byron Chamberlain, the tight end. It's inside the 25 where Brian Dawkins takes him down. Pickup of 20 on the play. And the Vikings call timeout with 1:07 remaining. Their first timeout. See the total yardage in the first half. And don't forget, at halftime, the guys are ready back in the studio. JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris have the scores and highlights from around the league today. And of course, the Fox Sports Ticker keeps you updated with up-to-the-second stats. It's all coming up on the Visa halftime report. Corey Simon has come back in for Philadelphia at defensive tackle.
Bill, this is surprising to me. I really thought Minnesota would have a lot more going for them coming back from the bye week.
Well,
they practiced hard.
Yeah, given Denny Green's record, yes. And the fact that they have that much explosion in their offense with Carter, Moss, and Culpepper.
Out of the shotgun on first down from the Eagles 24. Culpepper gets time outside to Randy Moss. Spins, goes down to the 21-yard line, and that's all. Hurry up offense for the Vikings.
Moss's second catch of the game.
Correction, is third. Harold Morrow in the backfield for Minnesota. With 3 wide receivers. Culpepper pulled it down to run, and they've got him. Ball scored back to the line of scrimmage. And another timeout called by the Vikings. Late flag.
Nice job by Philadelphia Eagles of containing Dante Culpepper in the first half. He has not been able to get out of the pocket. Yeah. He has not been able to break anything up the middle. They've stayed in their rush lanes, and they've closed the pocket down around him.
The penalty against the Vikings.
That's frustration.
Personal foul, taunting. Number 65, Minnesota. 15 yards. Repeat, second down.
It's Calvin Collins.
There's Calvin Collins right here. And he gets shoved, and then he gets up. He gets shoved from behind, and he gets up, and he gets in Corey Simon's face, and the flag comes out.
Almost an automatic sets the Vikings back to the 37. They have to get to the 19, make that the 14 for a first down. Culpepper completes to Jake Reed inside the 30 to the 29. 26 seconds remaining in the first half, and another timeout.
Hey, can you imagine, Sam? They got a 15-yard penalty for that, for taunting. I mean, you're taunting? Are you kidding me? He went up to him, Sam, and he gave him one of these. just one of these. I mean, it was no big deal. Just a little head knocker.
It's an unbelievable first half of the. You can't be too surprised by the way the Eagles are playing. They're sharp in this game. They came in ready. Their offense has been strong. I just think the inability of the Vikings to get anything done is a bit surprising.
I think they've been battling this and on the verge of this all year long. The Vikings have not been happy with the play calling. They haven't been happy with the play of the offensive line. They haven't been happy with the performance at the running back position. And the real leader on the team, the guy that's trying to keep them all together, is Dante Culpepper, because the frustration has set into great amounts with Moss and Carter.
Have to get to the 14 for a first down. On third down, Culpepper sprints out, looks back, throws the other way to Doug Chapman. He's got 2 men in front of him. 3-yard line. Great play by Culpepper, sprinting out right and throwing back to the left.
Well, this was a great call on. Watch this. They're only going to have 3 guys that remain deep. They blitz 8 people up front, Sam, and they have the right call on. They get everybody coming this way, and they flip the ball over the top on a little screen play. Right call at the right time.
First and goal for the Vikings at the 3-yard line. Pickup of 25 on the play. 17 seconds remaining in the first half. Vikings need something to get them going, and now a timeout has been called by the Eagles. 17 seconds remaining in the first half. Dante Culpepper goes to the sideline to talk things over. There's the head coach, Denny Green. This is a big point in the season for the Vikings. As Bill said, it's a time of the year when teams start to separate in the races for the playoffs. And the Vikings, if they lose, would be 3-5 and in big trouble in their division.
Yeah, you know, if you think of it as a horse race, they're rounding the 3rd turn. And when you're around the 3rd turn, you've got to get away from the rest of the horses that can slow you down and cause you trouble. You have to get separation so that when you get around that 4th turn, you're down the home stretch in December and the sprint is on.
Eagles defense has been outstanding. Hollis Thomas coming to the sideline. It's first and goal for Minnesota. And
watch that quarterback draw down here.
Culpepper rolling, looking, in trouble. Got away from one man. That was Brandon Whiting. And another man. And he is down at the 5-yard line. Good pursuit by the Eagles, but it took 12 seconds off the clock for Minnesota. They're down to 5 seconds remaining.
How about the coverage? How about Troy Vincent, Bobby Taylor, Al Harris? They've been doing it all day. Dante Culpepper has had time. They've moved the pocket. They've tried to. Everybody is covered up. He can't throw that ball there. Look, he can't throw it at anybody on the field. Look back here. Look at Reed. Look at Byron Chamberlain. There's no place for them to throw the ball, and that is man coverage. They are manned up, and they're down there, and they're just battling for space. Nobody's getting enough separation from the Philadelphia Eagles secondary for enable Culpepper to throw the ball. That's quite a credit to Philadelphia.
So now with 5 seconds remaining, the Vikings have to try to find a way to get into the end zone. They have 2 tight ends in. Randy Moss going wide to the right, Carter to the left. Harold Morrow is the lone setback. The fade to Carter. He leaps and he grabs it. Touchdown. Chris Carter, who has done this so many times, goes up and makes the catch as he went against Bobby Taylor. So the Vikings score with 2 seconds remaining in the half.
Watch the subtleness of Carter with how he gets away. Right there. There's his separation. It's not a push where he extends his arms, but he gets his arms inside of Bobby Taylor. Now watch, right there. Now he just backs off it. And when he backs off it, he backs off it in time just to go up for the ball. Doesn't enable Taylor to react.
5th touchdown of the season for Chris Carter. 128th touchdown reception of his career. 129th career touchdown overall. Take another look.
Watch the hands inside.
Yeah.
Chris Carter, he's crafty. He's a veteran. He's got his hands inside. It's right here. Now he gets the separation. You see, Bobby Taylor sees the ball coming. You would think he'd be able to go up and get after it, but instead he fell back away from Carter.
Well, the Vikings found a way to drive down the field. They finally got some sustained offense going. A 75-yard, 10-play drive, something they needed badly. You can see the disappointment and frustration written on the face of Chris Carter as the Vikings are still down by 21. Bobby Taylor is A little pat on the back from the guy.
Well, it's kind of tough for Bobby. You play a half like the secondary has played for Philadelphia, and then right before half, you just get caught in a man-to-man situation. That fade route's a tough route. It always favors the offensive player because he can see the ball. He knows where it's coming. You're in man coverage. You've got him. You want to stay on him, and then you have a hard time finding the ball.
The kickoff by Gary Anderson, picked up by Corral Buckhalter. And he gets himself inside midfield down to the 43, and that will do it for the first half. A great first half for the Philadelphia Eagles. They go to the locker room with a 31-10 halftime lead. Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, Eagles with a 31-10 halftime lead over the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Rosen along with Bill Moss. Bill Moss was just in the Eagles locker room at halftime. Bill, what was it like down there?
You know what? The one thing I noticed about in the locker room at halftime, everybody was standing up. If you come in and you're tired or you're losing, everybody's sitting down. A lot of movement, a lot of electricity in the locker room, and then you got the old words going when you have a 31-10 lead. Smell the blood. Finish. It's 0-0. When Andy Reid called him up, he said, it's time, guys. Defense is up first. Continue to tone. You've set this whole game.
No lack of intensity down there, Bill. Did you sense anything, any complacency coming out for the second half?
No, not at all. Like I said, everybody was up and moving around. There's an electricity. Things are starting to go for them. Things are starting to gel for them. Remember they said they need to separate from the rest of the pack? This team is separating in a big, big way.
All right, Bill, head back upstairs for the second half. We want to have a special moment here in Philadelphia today. A young man named Adam Talaferro played for Penn State as a freshman last year, was injured, had spinal fusion surgery. He was told he would never walk again. Well, Adam Talaferro rehabbed at McGee Rehabilitation Hospital in Philadelphia, worked hard, and has now returned to classes at Penn State. He serves as a student assistant coach on the football team, and he's the Eagles' honorary captain today. This was prior to the start of the game. Great to see Adam Talaferro back on his feet, back at classes, and here at the Vet as the honorary Eagles captain. Now for the Minnesota Vikings, an important moment because they'll receive David Akers' kickoff. Nate Jacquet is deep. The Vikings scoring to end the first half. Want to keep that going to try and get back in this game. The Akers kickoff, Jacquet at the 5. And the Eagles have it well covered. Gets back to the 23-yard line. Brought down by Corral Buckhalter. First half statistics dominated by the Eagles. 269 yards offense and well balanced. 139 passing, 130 rushing. The Vikings could only rush for 26 yards, 89 yards passing, 115 total. 4 sacks on Dante Culpepper, 2 turnovers for Minnesota, 1 for Philadelphia. Doug Chapman in the backfield for the Vikings. Dante Culpepper, the quarterback. Chapman carrying on first down, gets a couple of yards up to the 25-yard line. The Vikings suffered an injury to the offensive line early in the game when Brad Badger went out with a toe sprain. They moved Everett Lindsey to left tackle and Calvin Collins is the left guard. Matt Burke the center, David Dixon the right guard, Chris Lewinsky the right tackle. Chapman and Kleinsasser in the backfield. Carter left and Moss right. And the tight end Byron Chamberlain to the right side. Troy Vincent showing blitz. He's coming. And he almost got there. The throw is for Randy Moss, incomplete. Culpepper had a throw with Vincent coming in strong. And Troy Vincent nearly got there. The pass overthrown.
Hello, Sam.
Nice to see you back.
Did you eat all the cheesesteaks and pretzels while I was gone?
No, I saved you about 2 or 3.
You saved me one?
That's right. More than that.
Boy.
You mean they didn't feed you in the locker room?
You know what they have at halftime in locker rooms for the players? Sliced oranges and Gatorade. That's probably a good thing, too, if you take a look at some of those offensive linemen. You know the food they eat around this place in their new complex?
Oh, man.
Yeah, they ought to stay with oranges and Gatorade at halftime.
Out of the shotgun, 3rd and long. Have to get to the 33. Culpepper gets time, but overthrows Jake Reed. So a bad first series for Minnesota. So you talked about the food on Friday at the Eagles
at their new
camp?
complex. Look, I mean, it's Junk Food Friday. Andy Reid says every Friday it's Junk Food Friday. They got cheeseburgers, they got pizza, they have cheesesteaks, they have teriyaki wings, they have spare ribs, and I had all of them. And it looks like Andy Reid's had all of them, too.
Yeah.
We're going to start charting the weight of this team for the next couple of years now that they have Junk Food Friday.
Berger just got that one away. Ryan Mitchell from the 25 with room to return. Gets up to the 39-yard line. Eagles came very close to blocking Berger's punt. 50-yard punt, 14-yard return. Eagles with a big lead. Well, the first meeting ever between Donovan McNabb and Dante Culpepper, and right now McNabb is dominating play.
I got you.
139 yards, 2 touchdown passes, 1 touchdown run. From the 39, Thrash in motion. Play fake, McNabb being rushed, swings it out. Terrell Buckhalter. Nice job by Buckhalter as he gets to the Vikings 45-yard line. He's an excellent runner. They're working on his... excuse me, I'm sorry. That was the fullback, Cecil Martin. My apologies. That was Cecil Martin out of the backfield.
Well, I want you to watch here. First of all, you've got 2 deep, and they're going to stay over the top. Now, here you have this guy. He's going to take him downfield. This is going to be the fullback, and he's going to find his way in the check down. He gets nudged right there, and the linebacker should stay on him. He doesn't, and he's wide open.
It's Staley and Martin in the backfield. Thrash in motion. And the draw play to Deuce Staley. He's got a big ball. And he turns it into a big run. Orlando Thomas trying to cut him off. Staley scores! Make it 44 officially. And Denny Green says, what hit us? Well, Deuce is back in a big way.
How many missed tackles were on that one, Sam?
Plenty.
They're up to 21 missed tackles in this game.
David Akers with the extra point. Eagles' longest touchdown run of the season. Deuce goes 44 yards. The Eagles, the first time they get their hands on the ball, drive in for the score, and Staley makes it happen. The Eagles with a 38-10 lead. Talked about Eagles special teams. 58, Ike Reese, Tim Houck, 45, Rashard Cook, 42, 3 of the leaders that make these special teams so effective for the Eagles. David Akers kicks it off. Nate Jarquette has to run over to take it at the 1 as they try to pin him in the corner. Goes up the sideline, pushed out of bounds around the 20-yard line. That's good kickoff and good coverage by the Eagles.
Well, you just mentioned those guys, Ike Reese, Timmy Hoff, Rashard Cook. Watch Hawk, 45. He's supposed to go straight to the ball. He's outside. Watch him maintain outside force, then lay out and make the tackle.
Wouldn't allow himself to get blocked.
Sam, take a look at this touchdown. This play's supposed to start here, but it cuts back here, and the reason being, everybody's out of position. Stalin Colonnade should be underneath there. He goes upfield, no good.
On first down, Culpepper rolls and throws, completes to Chris Carter, and gets up to about the 39, close to the 40-yard line. Mike Caldwell in on the stop. 3rd catch of the game for Chris Carter. 1 for a touchdown. That was a 20-yard pickup for the Vikings. Vikings gave up 41 points in their last game 2 weeks ago at Tampa Bay. 38 points thus far today. Doug Chapman straight ahead. Not much. Running game just isn't there, is it, Bill?
No, it doesn't seem fair. We're going to go back to this touchdown, Sam. Stalin Colonnade. Look, he has A gap. He has B gap. He has C gap. Weak side has D gap. Watch Stalin Colonnade. He blows this thing. Completely blows it. He goes back door, and now look at the seam underneath, and that's what leads to the touchdown. Tyrone Carter doesn't help out with the missed tackle, but it all starts up front, and for the defense of Minnesota, that's where it's lacking.
On second down, it's Chapman again. Stay on the ground, get a couple of yards before he's thrown back by Hollis Thomas. The tackle who does such a good job stuffing the run. He comes out on passing downs, but he's tough to move inside on the run. Third and long. 5 defensive backs in for Philadelphia as Al Harris comes on.
Third down. 53% blitz on third down is this Eagles defense. Let's take a look and see what they're going to do.
Vikings have to get to midfield. For first down, they have Kleinsasser and Chapman in the backfield.
Zone blitz.
What's coming? Over the middle, wide open Randy Moss. He's down at the Eagles' 46-yard line. 4th catch of the game for Randy Moss.
Here's Moss over here. What's going to happen is the safety is going to drift inside to the tight end. See him drifting to the tight end. Moss recognizes and settles down behind the safety. Excellent recognition, keeping your head in the game. A lot of times the receivers have these route adjustments they have to make in route reads. That was one of them by Randy Moss.
First down at the Eagles' 45. Culpepper wants to go deep, and he does for Chris Carter, and it's incomplete. And a flag on the play. Bobby Taylor with excellent coverage on Chris Carter had good inside position.
I think they may have caught the old vet this time.
Let's see. Yes, they did. It's on Chris Carter.
We were showing that earlier where his hands are. He works his hands inside. He likes to get them inside of the body. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it here. It's actually the backside here. He was trying to push Bobby Taylor by the ball.
Pass interference, number 80, Minnesota. 10 yards, repeat first down.
See, that's old Al Jury. The guy that calls this on the other side is the field judge, Al Jury. Al Jury's sitting right back over in here, and he sees that handful of jersey. Al Jury's been around the league a long, long time, and he knows the craftiness of Chris Carter.
First and 20. Carter on the sideline. Jake Reed and Chris Walsh in. Jim Kleinsasser, the fullback, on the draw. It's up close to midfield. Jeremiah Trotter, the middle linebacker, made the tackle.
One of the things that Minnesota wants to get to is their running game. They've been struggling. They've been struggling with the play of the line due to a lot of injuries. Heck, they've lost 4 Pro Bowlers in the last 2 years. And then the running backs, with the loss of Robert Smith, they haven't found a guy yet. They wanted to get Jim Kleinsasser going. 275-pound fullback. They figured they can establish a precedent of a running game, a power running game with him. They haven't had the opportunity because they've been down so much.
Carter is back in. He goes to the right side. Culpepper under pressure, got rid of it, incomplete. Intended for Doug Chapman out of the backfield. Derek Burgess, the rookie out of Mississippi, who's in as a pass rusher, number 59, got close to getting Culpepper.
You talked about those big plays, Sam. Where's Moss been? How come they can't get the ball downfield? How about big plays running the ball? Chapman has 19 yards on the day, but not one of the running backs, including Culpepper, which I think is a mistake. I think Culpepper needs to get moving. Just as Donovan McNabb had to get moving here in Philadelphia, Culpepper does in Minnesota.
Have to get to the 35 for a first down. Culpepper to Kleinsasser. The Eagles are there. He pulls his way across the 40-yard line, but he's short of a first down. Let's see if the Vikings will go for it.
All right, what the heck? Why not? Why not?
They're down big. 4 touchdowns. They have to get to the 35-yard line. It looks like the Vikings will go for it on 4th down.
Anyway, you know what you do when you're right here? You got 3 wide receivers. You spread them out. timeout, Philadelphia.
Okay. Timeout called. 6:15 remaining in the. It make it 8:50 remaining in the third quarter, and a big lead for the Eagles. Bobby Taylor was injured on the previous play. That necessitated the timeout by the Eagles. They couldn't get him off the field. Now he's gone to the sideline. Rashard Cook has come in. They have 3 safeties in. Al Harris is in as well. 4th and 4 for Minnesota. Culpepper has time. Nobody open. Waiting. Still nobody open. And he gets away once, but not twice. Hugh Douglas brings him down for another sack, the 5th sack for the Eagles today.
Big mistake.
Which was?
Dante Culpepper, he had time, especially when he moved a little bit to the right. He only had to get 5 yards to pick up the first down. Get the first down. He's standing there looking downfield to make a big play. Make the first down. Give your offense an opportunity to stay on the field. For some reason, and I don't know what it is, today Dante Culpepper has not been moving around. He has not been making the plays out of the quarterback position that he has normally made.
Hugh Douglas has been making plays.
He always will.
2.5 sacks in the game for Hugh Douglas, 5 for the Eagles. Here they go to the end around to James Thrash. Thrash with room inside the 40 as he is taken down by Eric Kelly. And they are using all the plays in the playbook.
And look, everybody's smiling. Andy's smiling. Everybody's happy when things are going well. You know, we got on this food basis. We were talking about halftime, and then we were talking about the junk food Friday. If you're talking about 2 meals, okay?
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings meal, if you're at a restaurant, you send it back to the kitchen. You didn't like it, you sent it back, and you said fix it. The Philadelphia Eagles is still in the kitchen, and they're still working on it. They're still preparing it, and they're almost got the garnishes ready to go on it.
On first down, McNabb. Sideline throw for Todd Pinkston. Broken up. Kenny Wright on the coverage. Bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Eagles.
Hugh Douglas. And I'm surprised to see him sitting down, to be honest with you. Because he's one of those guys that is just high-strung. All that energy he has, he gets that motor going. I'm really surprised to see him sitting down.
Ryan Mitchell is in and is split out to the left side. Everybody out. McNabb running, looking for someone to come open, and he throws it away. And he's outside the pocket and can throw it away. Lance Johnstone, number 51, put a lot of pressure on Donovan McNabb.
You're talking about the yards. What's Andy whispering about? He's down there whispering like it's some secret. Everything he calls is working. Just call anything. It doesn't matter what you call.
Look at the total yardage in the game. Deuce Staley has had a huge game. 12 carries for 112 yards. His first 100-yard rushing game of the season. He's also caught 4 passes for 49 yards.
Empty backfield.
Staley's out to the right. McNabb being rushed, and he throws, and it is incomplete. Intended for James Thrash. And the Eagles will send the punting team on.
58, Eddie McDaniels. He's going to come on the blitz, try to cause a little pressure. Trey Thomas blocks Lance Johnstone, then comes back and picks up the blitz. And we saw John Runyon do it. We saw John Runyon get his block and then get up on the safety. There's Trey Thomas doing it. When things go well, they go well everywhere.
Second punt of the game for Sean Landeta, way up in the air, and a fair catch called for by Nate Jarquette. He's got it at the 13. And the Vikings offense will come back on the field. 26-yard punt, no return. 7:36 to go in the third quarter. From the 14-yard line, Jim Kleinsasser in the backfield with Travis Prentice, and it was Prentice on the carry. Kleinsasser the lead block. Number 40 gets up. Short pickup on the play. Jim Kleinsasser out of Carrington, North Dakota. Farming country.
His whole family's from.
That's right.
He said, NFL work, training camp, all that stuff. nothing compared to the grunt work he had to do cleaning out the grain bin.
Culpepper short drop. The pressure just got away from Hugh Douglas, and the pass downfield is complete to Chris Carter at midfield and pulls his way to the 48-yard line of the Eagles.
Well, Hugh Douglas had his hand on the quarterback. He just comes inside, and see what happens when you come inside underneath the rush and you give up that contained lane to a scrambling quarterback by Dante or McNabb. When you do that, when you gamble and you come inside, Hugh Douglas has an excellent inside move. He sets it up real well off his speed rush, and then he comes inside. He gambled that time, and McNabb beat him. I'm sorry, Culpepper beat him.
Picked up 37 on the play. Hugh Douglas comes off. Vikings in Eagles territory. Culpepper drops it off to Doug Chapman. The 3 blockers in front of him. Chapman turns it into a good gain down to the 30, still on his feet, and fights his way forward to the 28-yard line. Al Harris made the stop, a 20-yard pickup on the screen pass to Doug Chapman. The Vikings scored their lone touchdown at the end of the first half, got the opening kickoff of the second half, failed to do anything, and then the Eagles regained the big lead. Feinsasser the lone setback. 2 tight ends in, 2 wide receivers, a Reed and Moss. Pepper rolling and throwing, and completes to Moss, who came back down to the 15-yard line. Hollis Thomas went back and made the tackle on Randy Moss. 13-yard pickup. 5th catch of the game for Randy Moss. Nothing of the deep variety.
No. And even that play wasn't the plays that you're accustomed to, or you've been accustomed to seeing out of Minnesota over the last couple of years. And it's a team that's in an offensive transition. You know, that long bomb, that long touchdown pass used to energize the whole team. And that being taken away has also taken away a lot of the team's energy.
On first down, Culpepper to the end zone for Byron Chamberlain. He was double covered. Troy Vincent knocked it away. Brian Dawkins was there as well.
You know, you just talked about Dawkins, and also Troy Vincent was over there on the play. And you look around the NFL, and you think about Bobby Taylor, Troy Vincent, Brian Dawkins. These guys have been together for a while.
You could throw Al Harris in the mix there.
Yeah, if you go that far, and he came about 3-4 years ago, but together collectively, they've played in a ton of games together. They've been the starting guys, and it goes back to, I believe, 1996. Before Harris came in about 98. But the other 3, I think, got here in 96. And I don't think any defense in the NFL has guys that have been together that long.
Culpepper short to Chris Carter, inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. So the Vikings going with the underneath stuff and have gone down to the Eagles 5, 5th catch of the game for Chris Carter.
You know, and I think that's the reason that Dante Culpepper has really become the leader of this team. And you talk about a team in offensive transition. The team, the offense is his now. And he isn't going to force that deep ball when it's not there. He's going to take the underneath things, the things that defenses are giving him, just like that pass right there.
But if the Vikings can't run the ball, the offense won't be effective in the long run, Bill.
Long ball? No, absolutely not, because you'll never bring up that safety.
A lot of movement. Flags go down.
I got
Encroachment.
No, I think Calvin Collins may have lifted up.
It's encroachment.
Yeah? Okay. Let's see. Ron Blum will let us know.
Encroachment, 96, Philadelphia. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
Paul Grasmanis. You went to that referee school. That's why you won that. You knew that. You knew that stuff. Next summer, I'm going. Ball down at the 2.5-yard line. Feinsasser and Morrow in the backfield. But Bill, wouldn't you say the biggest difference is with Robert Smith gone, the losses on the offensive line, that the Vikings just don't have that effective running game anymore, and it hurts their entire offense.
Oh, there's no question.
Feinsasser to the goal line. He dropped the ball. Did he break the play? They dropped the bag. Maybe a fumble. Brian Dawkins recovered the ball, but did he break the plane before he fumbled the ball?
From here, I thought he did. I thought he was over. I thought it was a touchdown. They did not signal touchdown. The officials did not signal a touchdown. Ball is out.
Yeah.
That is a fumble. If you're going to extend...
The ball was fumbled, was picked up in the end zone by Philadelphia. Defensive back. He never got out of the end zone. It's a touchback. First down, Philadelphia.
Nice job by the officials. If you're going to extend the football to break the plane of the goal line, you have to extend that thing with two hands. Kleinsasser has his left hand in to kind of protect his body, and then he tries to extend it one arm with his right hand, and that's where it comes out. It's loose right now before it ever crosses.
There you see it. There's the ball coming out.
Had he had two hands on the ball, the officials would have signaled touchdown.
And it looks like the Vikings are going to challenge the call.
Well, that's a big mistake. Who's ever watching with the replays we just watched, it's...
Byron Chamberlain is being helped off. Not putting much weight on his right foot. He was injured on that last play. The Vikings have challenged the ruling on the field. And Ron Blum will go over and take a look and see if he has clear visual evidence to overturn the ruling, which was a fumble. Right here, looks like that ball's coming out as he reached the goal line.
It's tough to see from this camera. Our camera isn't on the goal line. Our camera's kind of looking at that kind of angle. It's not with the goal line here, so it's kind of tough to see. But unless we have a different shot, it has to be, as you said, Sam, clear visual evidence to overturn that.
Well, if the ruling stands as a fumble, it's just typical of the day the Vikings have had, filled with mistakes, missed tackles, and turnovers.
Here's a camera shot. You know what? You ask and you get around here at Fox. Huh? You ask and you'll receive.
That's close. You know, it's so close.
Well, you see the head linesman. See that? You see the blue baggie? Watch that shot again. If we take another look at that shot, take a look at, I believe it was the head linesman down here.
Yes.
Mark Ball. See the blue bag he throws right there? That little blue baggie, he flipped that out. He knew it was a fumble instantly. He never once believed that he had control of the ball as it touched or crossed the plane. That's a telltale sign, I believe, right there.
Been a tough day for Denny Green and his team, and they've got a tough schedule ahead. Here comes Ron Blum with the...
After reviewing the play, there isn't enough sufficient evidence to overrule the call on the field. It is a touchback. Minnesota is charged a timeout.
That explains it. It's not enough to change the call on the field, which was a fumble. Kleinsasser the fumble, a turnover for the Minnesota Vikings, their third turnover of the game. 2 fumbles, 1 interception. And the Eagles will start from their own 20-yard line. 3:31 remaining in the third quarter. And the Eagles with a huge lead on the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings' next game will be a week from tomorrow at home against the Giants. And then they have to play the Chicago Bears. The Eagles go to Dallas next week. To Staley. Over the 100-yard mark and is up close to the 25-yard line. Jeff Huziga, number 90, made the tackle. Jeff Haziga, number 90 for Minnesota, is making his NFL debut. He is from a Division III school.
Sam Watson, Minnesota. There's a strong safety. Carter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys up there, and they're still getting 4 yards on a pop. That's what Minnesota isn't able to make other defenses do today.
Donovan McNabb completes to Freddie Mitchell up at the 30-yard line. That's a first down for Philadelphia. Mitchell with his second reception of the game. Freddie Mitchell, the rookie. There's Deuce Staley's numbers for the day. Freddie Mitchell, the rookie out of UCLA, is starting to come on.
Well, you know, he was hampered a little bit by the injuries he came into training camp with. And then they thought they were getting him well, but it never got to 100%. But Andy Reid said he's well now, and he's really got a grasp. He says he's a real smart kid, understands what he's got to do.
Staley breaks through. And he is pulled down by Orlando Thomas, but not before he gets 15 yards to the 45-yard line. Somebody
Better check whatever the heck Deuce Staley's drinking on the sidelines. Huh? He unbelievable. Power, moves, anything he wants to do today. Look at the job blocking up front. Chad Lewis walls off the linebacker, Lemansky Hall, and then Runyon on that side seals the whole entire side of the line.
14 carries, 131 yards for Deuce Staley. This time it's Terrell Buckhalter. Buckhalter up to the 49-yard line. Lance Johnstone, who's a local product, played at Temple, made the tackle.
Look at this, Sam. 10-yard average per touch today with runs
and catches.
Yeah.
It's been a big day for Deuce. Just a big day all around. The Eagles offense has been outstanding, and they've also cut down on the penalties, which have hurt them in past games on early downs. McNabb pressured, throws low, and it's incomplete. Intended for Todd Kingston. Bring up a 3rd and 5 in midfield.
You know, at that time, you said he was pressured. They came with a pressure. They came with a blitz. Minnesota is trying to bring a blitz. The thing that they haven't been able to do, that Denny Green alluded to at the top when he was talking about his defense, so we've got to stop the run first. If we don't stop the run, then we can't get to the quarterback. They are unable to get to McNabb.
Buckhalter in the backfield. McNabb feels pressure, throws short, completes it to Thrash. He dives for the first down. That's a good effort by James Thrash. We've got an update from JB. Let's go to him right now.
Hey, Sam, after spotting San Francisco a 14-3 lead, Saints coming back. Brooks hooks up with Joe Horn, 6 yards. Brooks, Jerry Bradshaw said with Willie Rowe back, he played a lot better. He has 19 of 30, 271, and 2 touches. Back to Sam and Bill.
You never know what you're going to get with New Orleans. Up, down, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Slow start, big comebacks.
They're kind of like Philly. They've been pretty good on the road.
Staley stays on his feet.
He's still not down.
He is still not down. He just got down to the 35. Kelly was trying to pull the ball out of Staley's hands. Staley was too strong for him and just picked up another 8 yards.
Somebody go paint up a game ball and give it to him right now.
It's a great day for Deuce Staley and the Philadelphia Eagles. They're 3/4 of the way home. They lead it 38-10 at the end of 3/4. We'll be back after a message from your local Fox station. Sam Rosen, Bill Moss, and the Fox crew here in Philadelphia, where the Eagles have a huge lead on the Minnesota Vikings as we start the 4th quarter. Eagles 2nd down and short at the Vikings 36. McNabb got away from Hoban. There's a flag on the play. The completion is made to Deuce Staley. Takes it inside the 20 to the 16.
As much as I am enjoying watching Deuce run, will somebody please tackle him? I mean, please.
So what you're saying is the Vikings have had a bad day making tackles.
Wow.
And the penalty is against Minnesota. The gain was down to the, looks to be around the 21, the 16-yard line.
Legal use of the hands. Number 25, Minnesota, 5 yards. Enforced from the end of the run. First down.
So the run was 20. The pass and run was 20 yards. Tack on an extra 5. Puts the ball at the 11-yard line. The Eagles have had over 400 yards total offense today.
The illegal use of the hands was at the jam. The jam, his hands went up into his face mask. You're not allowed to do that.
2 tight ends in for the Eagles. Terrell Buckhalter cutting inside, but he stopped at the line of scrimmage. No game on the play. Well, the Vikings defense in some serious trouble, Bill. 41 points given up to Tampa Bay, 38 points thus far today.
You know, I'm going to go back to 98. It cost them, their defense cost them a trip to the Super Bowl when they lost to Atlanta. They couldn't stop Jamal Anderson. Last year, it cost them a trip to the Super Bowl by not being able to stop the Giants.
Right. Empty backfield, 4 wide receivers in. McNabb being blitzed, and Kylie Wong's got him and won't let go. First sack of the day for the Minnesota Vikings, only their 10th of the season.
And that's really, Sam, part of what the problem is that's ailing him. That when your sack has to come from your linebacker, you only have 10 on the season, and your sack has to come from your middle linebacker. Not your outside linebacker, which you usually think are more of a pass rusher type. Not your defensive lineman, but by your middle linebacker. 8 games, 10 quarterback sacks. And it's hard to be able to get pressure on a quarterback when you can't stop the run and you're dealing with 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 5.
Have to get to the 1-yard line for a first down. McNabb swings it out to Deuce Staley. Has some room. One-on-one with Thomas. Cut inside. Brought down at the 3-yard line. Stellan Colonnay got him from behind. Otherwise, Deuce would have made it to the goal line.
Oh, my gosh. Orlando Thomas is just... He knows it. Here's Orlando. He's got Deuce. Watch him follow him. Now he's one-on-one with him. He should attack. Instead, he starts backpedaling. He just didn't want to get embarrassed because he's been dealing with it all day, as has every one of the defenders for Minnesota. You see Deuce get the ball, you close. Boom. Close now.
The Eagles will settle for the field goal. It'll be a 21-yard try for David Akers. And it is inside the upright, and the Eagles now have a 41-10 lead that ties the most points scored by an Andy Reid team. 41-10 Philadelphia. Tough day for Minnesota, and that's a man they missed badly, Robert Griffin.
Look at the yards. With Robert Griffin playing 4.1 yard average per play. Without him, 7 yards. You don't think there's a difference? That guy's a playmaker.
Getting close to returning. They hope to have him back next week. Under big pressure, Culpepper got rid of it to Kleinsasser. And he gets up across the 35-yard line. Hugh Douglas with big pressure on Dante Culpepper.
Almost there, trying to get a hat trick today in sacks. And we talked about the energy level he has. Andy Reid says he never shuts up. Talk. He says he won't let him get on the bus from the hotel to the game. He makes him either get a cab or sends him some other way. He won't let him on the bus. He says he's disruptive. He talks so much. He's the only player on the team that doesn't have a roommate in training camp or on the road because he's talking all the time. He keeps you guys up at night, Sam.
Culpepper being rushed by a shot. Cook gets a loose ball. And it is recovered by the Eagles. The Eagles have it. 4th turnover of the game for Minnesota. Brandon Whiting recovers the fumble.
It's in the backside blitz. Here comes Rashard Cook off the slot. Culpepper never sees him coming out of the corner. They come from the backside. They bring 4 to the weak side. Just not enough blockers to pick them up. They're not calling the dogs off yet.
Eagles from the Vikings 26. The draw play to Deuce Staley. Straight ahead against couple of yards. 6 sacks for Philadelphia and 4 turnovers. Well, Fox tonight, the best of Sunday is back. Jam-packed with a night of season premieres, starting with King of the Hill, The Simpsons, Malcolm in the Middle, and The X-Files. That's Fox Season Premiere Sunday, kicking off tonight at 7:30, 6:30 Central, only on Fox.
I think you need to start thinking about taking out your starters, especially Deuce and Donovan.
Off the flank fake, throws in, completes it for Freddie Mitchell, inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
Boy, he's going to be something special. I just like the way he plays the game, the little bit I've seen of him. Plays it with an excitement, a flair for the dramatic. He'll come up with the big catches.
Got enormous confidence.
That's what it takes. You know, that's what it takes to play this game. Confidence. Some guys have it when they walk